From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is AgDay.
Ag scientist by day, dance instructor by night.
It's one of the world's most famous dances, and now you can learn to tango on the University of Tennessee Agriculture campus.
And winter kill concerns rise for winter wheat.
The Great Plains as far south as the northern panhandle of Texas. And we saw widespread minus 20 degree readings or below.
The latest check on the crop right now on AgDay.
AgDay is brought to you by Pioneer.
Ben's bins, please hold.
Yeah, Ben's has been busy all day.
Seems like no one can keep up with this new Z series. What did you all put in these seeds?
Science.
Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. There's concern about losses to the winter wheat crop following last week's extreme cold snap. The Arctic blast hitting several key growing areas that have limited snow cover right now. Now take a look at this snow depth map from NOAA, and you can see those areas where there's little to no snow, including top winter wheat producer Kansas. AgDay's Michelle Rook has been looking into it. Michelle, there's also concern about the soft red winter wheat crop.
Clinton's sub-zero temperatures stretching from the north all the way down into the southern U.S. last week caused some winter kill damage to both classes of winter wheat, especially areas lacking snow cover. Now the damage is just being assessed as temperatures warm up and allow the crop to thaw out, but the full extent may not be known until later in the season. Agronomists and producers often joke that winter wheat has 9 lives, and the crop may have used up one of those last week when production areas plunged into the deep freeze.
At the height of the recent cold wave, 19th through the 21st of January, sub-zero temperatures were noted across the Great Plains as far south as the northern panhandle of Texas. And we saw widespread minus 20 degree readings or below across the northern plains.
Right now, farmers are monitoring for signs of winter kill in both the hard red winter wheat crop in the Great Plains and soft red fields in the lower Midwest. While 27% of the U.S. winter wheat crop is under drought conditions, the northern plains wheat areas were especially dry.
And that led to poor development of the crop last autumn, poor establishment, and some uneven emergence. So that crop, already weakened by drought, may have been finished off in some cases by the bitter cold of January.
Most of those wheat fields also had a lack of insulating snow cover. However, the potential impact of freeze damage on yield potential may not be fully known until well after the crop breaks dormancy.
It will be several weeks before we know the full extent of any winter kill, and we will be monitoring further reports from USDA NASS, including the February 5th State Stories report that will provide updated conditions.
Rippey says at the end of December, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/3 of the winter wheat was rated poor to very poor, with Nebraska and South Dakota in the epicenter of the northern plains drought. I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgDay.
Some rain may be on the way for those winter wheat areas. Meteorologist Alyssa Heilman joins us with an update.
Portions of the plains and into areas in the south central United States expected to see that rainfall starting at 7 a.m. for your day today. Again, seeing that rainfall in portions of Texas, moving further north and a little bit east as well. Again, bringing some of that rain into the plains, into areas like Kansas as it continues Thursday into Friday, and moving further and further east, then impacting areas of the Midwest up into the Great Lakes as well, and then continuing, of course, to move east, impacting portions of the East Coast before it moves out into the ocean. Coming up on Saturday, however, there's another system off the west coast there, Pacific Northwest, areas of the Northwest, seeing some of that snowfall as well as some rain again in areas of the northwestern United States, continuing through Saturday and into Sunday, moving further east as well. And Jacqueline Wilson of Lakeside, Nebraska, sharing an unusual scene with us. She says this is definitely not normal conditions to start bringing cows home from corn stalks. No ice, no snow, and a balmy 40 degrees. A different kind of winter so far. I'll have more in your forecast coming up.
The battle over water continues in California. President Trump issuing an executive order telling federal agencies to immediately take action to deliver more water to the Central Valley. The order also called for the Secretary of the Interior to take over California's Central Valley Project, which supplies water primarily to farmers, along with Southern California, which has been dealing with wildfires. Now, President Trump taking to his Truth Social site on Monday, saying the U.S. military had entered California and turned on the water flowing from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. However, the California Department of Water Resources disputing that claim on X, saying the military did not enter California, adding the federal government restarted federal water pumps after they were offline for maintenance for 3 days, and that state water supplies in Southern California remain plentiful. Now, the president has recently disagreed with California officials' handling of water supplies in regards to the wildfires around Los Angeles. Happening later this morning, the Senate Finance Committee will hold a hearing on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the next Secretary of Health and Human Services. Now, Kennedy's nomination has generated significant attention and some controversy, primarily due to his past statements and positions on vaccines, abortion, and his potential impact on the food sector. Farm Journal's Ag Economist Monthly Monitor recently asking if Kennedy would be a positive for U.S. agriculture in the position as health secretary. Well, 90% of those surveyed said no. However, some say that Kennedy's push to make America healthy again could come with some benefits for segments of U.S. ag, including a push for food providers to use more animal fats versus seed oils. Fire broke out at a large poultry processing facility in Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. Crews investigating the fire at Amick Farms say it may have been sparked by an electrical issue. It took fire crews almost 19 hours to control the blaze. It's reported the fire damaged about 10,000 square feet of production. The plant employs more than 3,500 people. Amick Farms saying on its Facebook page it is continuing to assess the damage to determine the safest and most expedient means to resume operations. Fresh off his stint leading USDA, Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack is taking a new job as the CEO of the World Food Prize. His new job will start in early March, where he'll help lead the World Food Prize Foundation into the future, utilizing his leadership and diplomatic experience in order to impact global food security. Now, Vilsack has long had a connection to the foundation, including serving on its Council of Advisors and Board of Directors. He said in a release, quote, "I look forward to forging new partnerships, helping bring to life new solutions in the fight against hunger, and championing efforts to ensure a sustainable and equitable food system for future generations." Corn and cattle prices find reasons to keep climbing. We'll talk about markets coming up next. And later, an icon of the industry has passed, remembering the inventor of the McRib. Today, after weather.
AgDay is brought to you by Germinator Closing Wheels. Germinator steel closing wheels provides a 13 bushel advantage per acre in no-till and a 7 bushel advantage per acre in conventional. Do you have enough room in your bin to switch to the Germinator?
Some are calling it a victory for ag equipment maker AGCO after an appeals court upheld a ruling in AGCO's favor in John Deere patent. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit upholding a lower court ruling that AGCO Corporation did not infringe on 2 John Deere and Company patents related to high-speed agricultural planting technology. Now, we've been keeping you updated on the case. The technology allows farmers to plant crops more quickly while placing seeds accurately at those higher speeds. But AGCO has claimed its seed meters and seed tubes work differently than Deere's. The Federal Circuit Court also denied Deere's motion for a new trial. Corn on the rebound Tuesday, with USDA reporting a corn sale to South Korea. AgDay's Michelle Rook is back with more on that and the continued charge into the green for cattle in markets now.
Grain and livestock futures were pretty much all higher on Tuesday. Chuck Shelby is back with analysis. And let's talk about the grains. We have been seeing corn and soybeans especially kind of trying to consolidate here, right?
Yeah, I think we got off to a little bad start when there was ideas that Colombia was disputing taking some of the people back, and that got sorted out pretty quickly. So market found reasons to rally. We did have some extra business to South Korea and corn. So The market rallied back. We're still in a range. We'll see if we can, maybe make a move and take out the highs we made from last week.
Yeah, what will it take to get above those highs, Chuck? Like you'd say, we do have uncertainty with tariffs. We still have some uncertainty about South American weather.
Well, certainly it helps when we see these extra exports come into play. But I think really, running up against the deadline on potential tariffs, if we see some good news out of China that they're willing to, go ahead and, negotiate and buy some grain from us in the long term, I think news from China would certainly be a catalyst.
And then it's about what the funds want to do here too, isn't it?
Yeah, so far they've been on the producer side. They've been long corn for quite some time. They've turned into longs and beans. So if they want to continue and find a reason, then we'll be another, icing on the cake or catalyst again to push this market to the next level.
And live and feeder cattle futures both cracking out some new highs again on Tuesday. And are we just chasing the cash at this point? And when will we know if we're starting to see a top or not?
That's an unanswerable question, I think. Once we broke above 200, we've just kept the momentum going. I think when you look at other markets like the stock market at record high, the cattle record high, it's, concerning for producers. But so far, we've not seen a reason for that market to fall back. The cash is leading the way. And as long as that happens, I think futures will stay strong. Again, a very strong market with fundamental behind it. We just have to be concerned as producers how long it can last and take some protective measures to protect the bottom line.
All right. Thanks so much, Chuck Shelby with Risk Management Commodities. We'll have more AgDay coming up. Watch Markets Now with Michelle Rook on the Farm Journal YouTube channel, keeping you updated throughout the day on the markets at the open, midday, and close. Find out what moved the markets today and what to expect the market to do next.
Talked about Nebraska seeing those temperatures above average, and that's really the case for a large portion of the United States, and of course completely different than last week when a large portion of the United States was seeing those temperatures below average. That's not the case for this afternoon, seeing all of those temperatures again across the United States. A lot of 60s, a lot of 50s, a lot of 40s, not a lot of 30s, seeing 39 there in Salt Lake City, 37 in Minneapolis, and seeing some of those warmer temperatures like we talked about in Nebraska, 53 degrees there in Omaha for your afternoon temperature. Going into tomorrow morning, again, seeing more mild conditions throughout portions of the United States. A good amount of 20s as we go towards the west coast, 27 in Salt Lake City, 28 in Carson City, 27 there in Denver, and a lot of 40s, a good amount of 30s as well as we go further east, more into the Midwest and towards the East Coast. For your day tomorrow, more warm temperatures just sticking around 50 in St. Louis as well as Omaha, seeing 59 there in Tulsa, 53 in Amarillo. So expecting, again, some pretty mild temperatures across large portions of the United States. That's the case going into our temperature outlook for areas of the south and central portions of the United States, seeing above average temperatures again for a large portion of the south, and then more moderate in some of the central areas of the United States and some below average temperatures in portions of the north, especially areas of the northwestern United States. Taking a look at precipitation outlook for that same time period, February 4th to the 10th, just a large portion of the United States wetter than normal, a small area drier than normal in areas of the southwest there. Turning to some of our cities here, we're seeing Hinsdale, Illinois, high of 45, low of 28. To Wheeling, West Virginia, high of 44, low of 26. Pullman, Washington, high of 41, low of 25, and sunny.
The person who helped develop what became the popular McRib sandwich at McDonald's has passed away. Dr. Robert Mandigo was a professor of meat science at the University of Nebraska, working at the university for 45 years. Now, during his time there, he was involved in meat manufacturing, processing, and product development research, receiving the most public recognition for his work in restructured pork, which led to the development of the McRib. But his obituary says that his body of work led to many breakthroughs which influenced the meat products enjoyed by people around the world. Dr. Tango was 85 years old. A sandwich that's extremely popular in Iowa is the pork tenderloin, and one man recently went on a quest to try out a pork tenderloin sandwich in each of Iowa's 99 counties. His name is J.J. Goodvin, and he's from Iowa City. He goes by the name the Iowa Gallivant. He travels across the state promoting events and organizations in Iowa towns on social media. Well, last April, he set off to try out tenderloin sandwiches at one restaurant in each county. He completed his journey just last week, and he spoke with Farm Journal pork business editor Jennifer Scheich about what it takes to make a really awesome pork tenderloin sandwich.
Number one, and doesn't matter what style of pork tenderloin you like, it's got to come out scorching hot.
Yes.
It's got to be hot.
Yes.
I mean, number one, whether you like them thin, thick, breaded, battered, smaller, or huge elephant ears, just number one, it must come out hot. And then after that, it's all up to the consumer.
Now, he says on Thursday, February 13th, he will announce his choice of the top pork tenderloin sandwich in the state. Now, Jennifer has promised to share the announcement with us, so stay tuned. All right, thanks, Jennifer. We'll be looking forward to it. Well, that news may come just in time for reservations this Valentine's Day. Up next, how a Tennessee Institute of Ag professor is keeping love and dancing alive today in the country. As a romantic holiday of Valentine's approaches, perhaps you and your significant other might go dancing. A professor and researcher at the University of Tennessee's Institute of Agriculture is also an expert teacher when it comes to one of the world's most famous dances, and he gives lessons. Charles Denny has more on the Vol Tango Club.
I travel the world and I've danced in every continent except Antarctica.
By day, Juan Luis Herat Fuentes is a professor and researcher who tries to rid the world of army worms and other harmful pests. But when evening falls on the UT Ag campus, he's been known to take to the dance floor, a bit of an alter ego taking over. Here demonstrating with wife Sodia, Juan Luis is the faculty advisor for the Vol Tango Club. He leads classes where people learn to dance the Argentine tango.
It's a difficult dance because it's improvised, meaning that you don't practice something that you just do over and over. So it's a little challenging, but it also makes it fun. Yes, just change partner, find a new partner.
Juan Luis is good, but says he can't put you on Dancing with the Stars after just one lesson. Learning to tango takes two, but mostly it takes time. If you were expecting stomping moves and roses clenched in teeth, that might be a bit dramatic. People in the class learn to walk through the steps and to communicate non-verbally with their partner. And with Argentine tango, the dancers never break their embrace.
And you dance with this person in a hug, so it's not like you're separate and you can move, separate from that person. It's like you have to move as one.
Juan Luis is a native of Spain. He loves to tango because it's a blend of dances from different countries and cultures: South America, Europe, and Africa.
People describe tango as basically the poster child for diversity and inclusion because it's supposed to be a mix of all these cultural dances from other places.
The Vol Tango Club is to learn the dance Argentine tango, but also just to meet people and perhaps discover a deeper rhythm of unity. The class is quite popular with students, faculty, and friends of both. Greshma Geetha is student president of the club.
It's so addictive. I wouldn't stay even after all this time. I'm not great at it, but it's just something I really want to pursue.
Juan Luis says Argentine tango is like a captivating language you learn to speak. and he looks forward to more teaching and dancing. A blend of grace, style, and tradition, embracing the steps in a journey of culture and connection.
Yes, I'm very passionate about my work, but I'm also very passionate about Argentine tango.
This is Charles Denny reporting.
All right, thanks, Charles, and that's all the time we have this morning. We're sure glad you tuned in. From all of us here at AgDay, I'm Clinton Griffiths. Have a great day.